Good morning, Standard 10th. Welcome back to the Geography class, and this is Resource and Development Part 4. Yesterday we had a talk about soil, what are its parts, that is the soil profile, and then we had talked what are the different types of soils and the map location, and then we had a talk about what is alluvial soil and the two types of alluvial soil on the basis of age. We'll start the class further with the second type of soil, that is the black soil. If you can see the picture, you can see it is black in color. It is black in color and it has high clay content. It develops cracks in summer to prevent water flow from it. That means to keep the inner surface with water, it develops cracks in it. It is mostly suitable for growing cotton. It is rich in iron, lime, calcium, magnesium, carbonates, and alumina. It is generally found in the Deccan Plateau area, especially in Gujarat and Ahmedabad, Gujarat and Maharashtra. This soil is sticky when wet, so the farming must be done before the first showers. Second is red and yellow soil. It is red in color due to the presence of iron oxide in it. It becomes yellow when in hydrated form, that is, when water is present in it, and turns red when anhydrous form, that is, when water dries off. It is not good for farming. It can be made good by adding proper fertilizers and manures. It is found in the southern states, Tamil Nadu, Odisha, MP, Karnataka, and so on. Next is the arid soil, that is the desert soil. It is sandy in texture and saline in nature. That means if you take it in your fist, the sand will slip down because it is sandy. Then it has a high content of soil in it, and so it is used for getting soil by evaporating the water. This soil is generally found in the desert areas, that is in the Rajasthan area. It has conker nodules, and if proper irrigation is added, it can be used for cultivating. Otherwise, natural occurring plants in the arid soil are cactus. Then you come to the forest soil or mountain soil. This is the last type of soil. It is found in hills and mountains. They are loamy and silty, and they suffer denudation, and they are having low humus content. This soil has to face denudation because they are on the gradients, that is higher areas, and the rushing water, the flowing water carries with it all the silk from there, so they lack the humus. These are the different types of soils for which we have talked. Now we'll talk about soil erosion. What is soil erosion? Removal of top layer of soil by the action of wind or rain is known as soil erosion. Here we have to study two types of soil erosion. One is gully erosion and the other is sheet erosion. Sheet erosion. It is the erosion that occurs evenly over an area. That is, you can see the full field When water flows from the full field at the same level, it is known as sheet erosion. Next is gully erosion. When the water cuts deep channels, you can see the channel here. When the water cuts deep channels, you can see the channel here. So when the water cuts deep channels and gully in badlands are called as ravines. They are known as ravines. Now, how do we protect soil erosion? By planting trees, that is afforestation, by proper irrigation, by preventing overgrazing, and many other things. So, protection of soil from getting eroded is known as soil conservation. There are different methods of soil conservation which we are going to study. The first is crop rotation, that is growing crops in rotation, that is one after the other, is known as crop rotation. So here it is writing alternating the crops grown field from one season or year to the next. It is known as crop rotation. For example, wheat. After wheat, corn is grown and soya beans are grown. This is also important to maintain the fertility of the soil. Next is contour farming. You can see contour. Contours are same level of lands over the sea level. So when you plant or when you do farming on the same level of land, it is known as contour farming. It says plowing furrows sideways across a hillside perpendicular to its slope to prevent gullies and drills is known as contour farming. Next is terrace farming. Terrace farming is when you cut the mountains then into large steps, it is known as terrace farming. So large steps cut into a hillside is terrace farming, and what benefit will it do? It will reduce the flow of water and so the soil will not get washed away. So that is soil conservation by terrace farming. Next is strip farming. You can see here the strips. These are the strips. So, when strips of grass are grown between the crops to prevent erosion, it is known as strip farming. So, you can see here it's written large fields can be divided into strips. Strips of grass are left to grow between the crops. This breaks up the force of the wind. Then is shelter beds. Planting lines of trees to create shelter is known as shelter beds. Here you can see lines of trees grown. And why? Because this will break the flow of wind and water. So when line of trees is grown, it is known as shelter belt. So rows of trees to control the wind and water flow is known as shelter belts. This is all for now. This is the end of the chapter. Do copy the work in your classwork copies. See you in the next class.